Hello, thank you for joining us in the Agri-Tier Innovation Garage once again in Leola, Pennsylvania. Today I've got an exciting product to talk to you about. It's the Marcrest Model 210, and I'm going to call it an ultra high capacity single chamber small square baler. Possibly my favorite aspect of the Marcrest 210 is the name on the baler. Marcrest Manufacturing has been an incredible manufacturer to work with. I have the privilege of representing their product for about 18 years. And if all manufacturers stood behind their customers and dealers in the way that Marcrest Manufacturing does, the agricultural equipment world would be a better place. Another thing I'd like to start with is to help me understand the need of a high capacity single chamber baler, and that's where I'd like to start. Your end user, there is a very strong need or a desire for a small square bale, a bale that can be handled by hand by one person in the 40 to 45 pound range, not hard on the back, and in a package that works well for feeding animals. The problem with producing that package that the end user desires is that in the past it's been very labor intensive and very time consuming. That's difficult when you're working with a crop that needs to get off the field because rain's coming, or it needs to get off the field because the soybean planters are chasing you. So in the past, let's say 2007, the Bale Baron came out, and now we've got a commercial bundling machine that is able to take 21 small square bales and package them into one large, easy to handle bundle. And we've been able to make standard small square balers work. What we've been doing is trying to take a standard small square baler and make it work well into a commercial baling operation with a commercial bundling machine. So we've been so excited in the last 5 years to see some investment from the manufacturers in commercial quality small square bale production machines. So the single chamber, what we have, the benefit that offers is that we can pull a Marcrest Model 5250T high capacity Bale Baron directly behind this baler, as long as we've got a tractor with over 40 gallons per minute of hydraulic flow from a good PFC, pressure flow compensating hydraulic system. We're able to complete the baling and the bundling all in one pass with one operator. That is the benefit of the ultra high capacity single chamber baler that I'm going to tell you more about today. We'll start out with the tractor required for the baler. If the baler would by chance just be baling directly onto the field, we can pull the baler and power it with about 125 PTO horsepower. However, in most cases, we'll be pulling a Bale Baron, and for that combination, we're going to want closer to 165 to 180 horsepower at the PTO. Actually, this Fendt Model 724 would be a perfect tractor for the Marcrest 210 baler and 5250T Bale Baron. 240 engine horsepower, a good strong 185 or so at the PTO. A 50 gallon per minute hydraulic system, so we've got all of our hydraulic requirements met, and this unit will be going to the field as a package, will be delivered to a customer, and we'll be working together. Starting out with our drive line, the 210 baler is 540 RPM drive, and the baler converts through the heavy duty gearbox, converts the 540 PTO RPMs to 120 strokes per minute. The power is transmitted through the 540 driveline through a automatic reset torque limiter and slip clutch combination to power the main gearbox. We'll start here at the pickup. We have a 5-bar camless pickup that is maintenance free. So again, remember what we're doing is taking whatever windrow we're given and we're trying to turn it into a beautiful 14 by 18 inch small square bale, and I'd like to show you a bit of how that's done. The pickup height is set with gauge wheels, so you set each side. We're going to aim for about 3/4 to 1 inch ground clearance with the tines themselves. Again, a camless 5-bar pickup. We're going to engage the crop. We have a ruler crop compressor, and just talking a bit about the function of this, we do not want this ruler wind guard to be displacing or moving the crop. What it's designed to do is keep the crop engaged in the pickup teeth. We don't want the crop levitating above the pickup, otherwise there's nothing to pull it back into the baler. So the roller wind guard is designed just to be set that it's, and again there's spring adjustment for that, very easy adjustment right here. And we're just wanting to maintain enough pressure that as you're baling, this is moving, it's going to be rolling, but we're not moving the crop. If we're moving the crop, we're compressing it too tightly. We move directly from the pickup into the auger system, and we have an auger, a short auger on either side, and you can see the fine flighting on that lower auger, and a bit more aggressive flighting on the top auger. All of this, again, designed to even out what could be a very uneven windrow. It's going to even it out, and we've got a unique feature on the Marcrest baler that is a rotor for feeding, so we can call it a feeder rotor. That feeder rotor is force feeding our pre-compression and stuffer chamber. That also has a torque limiter, an automatic reset torque limiter protecting it. One thing I forgot to say about the pickup is hydraulic drive. A couple things about being hydraulic drive: it's a variable speed and reversible. So the pickup speed will be based on the ground speed of our baler. If we would encounter a slug, something large in the windrow, we can reverse the rotor from the cab and back that back out. So by the time we get to the rotor, if we would encounter a load that would overcome the auto reset torque limiter, what we'll do is just reduce the tractor RPMs to about 100. The auto reset torque limiter will re-engage. You may need to disengage the PTO, allow it to coast to a stop, and re-engage, but then we should be able to go, provided we back the obstruction out from the pickup. We move from the rotor into a crank style packer. We'll just swing this door up and so we can look at that drive a bit. Very nice access shields, very easy to move and allow us to get in for maintenance. As we're looking here, you'll see the large high flotation tires, the rubber block suspension, so it actually travels up and down the road really well, even behind a 50K or 34 mile per hour tractor. The stuffer drive is protected by a shear bolt, and you can see that right here by the gearbox. Here we have a good visibility of a weigh cell on the stuffer mount, and you may say, what's that doing there? So the Marcrest 210 has the ability to measure rotor load in a similar way. The gearbox is mounted on a weigh cell, and it also measures our stuffer load, and it measures our plunger load, and we'll look at that in a few minutes in the cab on the baler display. The crop, again, if we would happen to have an obstruction that would get past the pickup, past the rotor, and into the stuffer, we are told on the display that the stuffer has stopped. We may have sheared a bolt, and we have access panels all over the place that are very easy to get to. We have left and right, and we have one directly behind the stuffer and the rotor that would easily allow us to clear an obstruction. So 120 plunger strokes per minute. The bale weight is monitored by the scale system that's directly on this transition chute. This will be feeding our Bale Baron. We'll have the Bale Baron, actually that's what these guide doors are for. So we'll be feeding a 5250 high capacity Baron. We even have our hose set already built into the baler. So we're monitoring the weight of the bale. We can set, the compression is set by a hydraulic door on top and both sides. The bottom floor is fixed, but we have top and side compression. We missed discussing it, but we have the 3 raspy tailless low maintenance knotters. So remember, we're making a 14 by 18 inch bale, but it will have 3 strings. You may say that seems excessive. That's what I thought too when I first heard about it, but it makes an unbelievably beautiful bale to have those 3 strings. Also, if you've ever carried 2 small square bales at a time, it's an odd thing to do when you've got a string either on the inside or the outside. You're either pulling it against your legs at the top or bottom. When you've got a twine in the center, it's perfectly balanced. You just get a hold of each string. It's very easy to carry the bale. Also, very, very seldom are you needing to stop the Bale Baron because of a broken twine. Even if one twine would miss for whatever reason, at a knot or whatever reason may cause it to miss, the bale is still fine and can still be used with 2 strands of twine. The other thing that's beautiful about the raspy tailless knotters was 2 things. There's no tails, so you're not going to see the poly twine bits laying all throughout your field. And the other thing is, if you do miss a twine, they basically rethread themselves. It just cycles again on the next round. You don't need to stop. You don't need to tie any twine off. You just keep baling. If it would happen to miss 2 or 3 in a row, you may want to stop and see what's going on. But I've never actually, I shouldn't say never, but very, very seldom have I ever seen that happen. It normally catches the next time around. This unit is equipped with the Harvest Tech 700 series preservative applicators. This is the automatic system that will, so we've got star wheels built into the baler here on either side that is constantly monitoring our moisture. So we have our moisture monitored, we have our length monitored. The length is also adjustable from in the cab, and there is a mechanical override. Actually, right at the moment, we're set in mechanical override for the bale length. Actually, I want to come around and just show you one more thing. The hydraulic system on the baler is on board. It has its own reservoir, it has its own pump system, and its own cooler. So what we're doing is we're driving the pickup hydraulically, we're creating the press pressure hydraulically, and we're operating the reversing fan hydraulically as well. Any of those functions that have electronic control can be overridden. Right here, if anything, if there's some sort of an electrical failure, we have the ability to override. Back to the mechanical bale length. If we would lose electronics or the ability to adjust it electronically, we can still keep baling by a mechanical override. Pickup flotation. Our flotation pressure is set with an easy adjustment right here. It's just a cotter pin on the bottom. We raise the pickup up and we move this stop. We want to maintain, I don't know, 100 or so, 120 max pounds on the pickup when we're in the field position, so that when we do encounter rocks, obstacles, uneven terrain, we're not carrying more weight on the pickup than what we should. It is poly stripper bands on the pickup, so it's going to handle some rock hits. It'll handle that pretty well, but we still want to be reasonable about the amount of down pressure we have. The machine does have really nice twine cabinet. On this left-hand sealed cabinet, we have the kind of the brains of the baler. So we're missing a bit of our twine storage on this particular side, but the baler itself does hold 21 balls of either 170 or 210 knot strength twine. 170, since we have 3 strands of twine, is typically fine. 210 works well also. And this baler, you can see we have 210 in. Very heavy duty wagon hitch. Again, designed to pull a Bale Baron even on hills. Not going to hurt anything on the baler. The baler does weigh 11,000 pounds. If I could show you the internal components, you would see why I call it a commercial small square baler. Let's say a traditional inline baler, we're going to rebuild the plunger, replace knives, replace rollers on the plunger. We're going to do that every 70 to 100,000 bales through the life of the baler. At a certain point, probably 300,000 bales, the unit just starts to fatigue. We'll see some unusual repairs needed. And again, remember, we're trying to make this a commercial small square bale operation. We're trying to get the crop off the field. Rain's coming, the soybean planter is already in the field. We're trying to get this project done. So in comparison, this baler, we're expecting 1 million plus small square bales without a lot of maintenance. Some of it is yet to be seen. We have quite a few machines in the field that ran in 2025 and quite a few that will be running in 2026. Some of the longevity we have yet to see, but the baler has been in testing starting in 2024, and the test units that were out have well over 1 million bales. So they've been proven in other areas, and we, again, absolutely trust Marcrest Manufacturing to stand behind this machine very well, and they've already shown us that that's the case. There you can see our twine capacity here on the right-hand side. Again, total of 21 balls. I'd like to climb into the cab of the tractor and show you the baler display. And here you will see the Marcrest 210 baler display that also acts as our Bale Baron display when we're pulling the two units together. I'd like to show you a close-up of what the display includes as you're baling with the Marcrest 210. You can see that the display does offer the ability to have two cameras. We have one camera functioning right now that allows us to see the bale being made. So we will know if we miss a strand of twine, we'll be able to see that right here on this display. The second camera, a lot of times what we'll do is watch the Bale Baron rotating table. The baler has the capacity to out-bale even a 5250 Bale Baron. So that will be our limiting factor. We're going to make sure we're not jamming up the rotary table. Here you can see that in normal operation, I've got the baler display on top and the Bale Baron display on the bottom. Each has full functionality, each unit. If I want a closer view of the baler itself, I'll just touch the baler icon on the display. And that's what we're going to do right now, just so I can go over each of the features. So at the top here, we're going to see the flake count per bale. The green is our current and the gray is our average. So flake count per bale, we're watching that real time. We can see the weight of our bale real time, again average and actual, so current and average. Our bale length, same way. Our tons per hour and our bales per hour. We'll actually be able to see all of those things right here on the display. Right here, if we're operating electronically, we can set our minimum bale length and our maximum bale length. So this is the maximum. We're allowing a 3-inch variation. We can set that wherever we would like that. I do want to show you as well our the load monitors that I mentioned. Right here is the load monitor for our rotor. We're going to have a light green, a dark green, an orange, and a red on this bar graph. So I like to run dark green with a little bit of orange. You can choose where you like to run. The stuffer, the same way, same bar graph. You'll be able to see the load on the stuffer. You'll also be able to see the load on the plunger in the same way. We can see our flake length. So we've got inches of flake displayed. If we're shooting for a 4-inch flake, we can run our graph very close to that. That is going to, so we are running at 120 strokes per minute, but our flake count and flake size will vary a bit based on how hard we're pushing it. So you can choose, what are you aiming for? Are you aiming for a certain number of flakes in a bale? Are you aiming for a certain bale weight? You can choose what is most important to you. Here we have the ability to manually increase our press pressure and decrease the press pressure. We also have the ability to reverse the pickup. Our knotter fan is auto reversing, but if we would see that we're starting to get some chaff buildup on the screen, we can reverse that from in the cab as well. So with the Baron, this is the traditional Baron display that we've had with any ISO bus monitor, but we've now got it all on the baler display. We don't need a separate ISO. We can use the ISO for our applicator system. But here you're able to watch the Bale Baron bundle being formed, each of these blocks. Each of these blocks will turn green as we have a bale in the Baron, so you can see where you're at in the vertical stack count and where you're at in the horizontal stack count at any given time. A lot of diagnostic settings, I won't go into that, but this just gives you a good overview of what you'll be able to see from your Marcrest 210 baler display. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with us today at Agri-Tier in Leola, Pennsylvania. If you have any questions, please call anytime. I would love to help you learn more about this Marcrest 210 baler and the benefits it could bring to your operation.